Will Sharp, a former Marine and Afghanistan veteran, is struggling to save his wife Amy, who urgently needs $200,000 for a cancer surgery. With no other options, he turns to his adoptive brother, Danny, who has been a criminal his entire life. He arrives at Danny's garage, which is filled with luxury cars. The brothers are visibly happy to reunite, and Will confesses that he requires $200,000 to cover Amy's life-saving surgery. Danny tells him he can get much more money if he's willing to join a $30 million bank robbery. Will initially hesitates, as he has no criminal background, but with no other way to save his wife, he reluctantly agrees to participate in the robbery. The plan involves using a stolen delivery truck, which the crew has painted for disguise. On the day of the robbery, they drive to the LA Federal Bank, enter the building, and take control of the situation. Everything seems to be going according to plan until Officer Zach, who had only stopped by to ask out a bank teller, unknowingly walks into the middle of the heist, and Danny quickly takes him hostage. Meanwhile, Zach's partner, Officer Mark, becomes suspicious and confronts the robbers outside the bank. A gunfight breaks out between the robbers and Mark. The LAPD's special agents arrive and kill all the robbers, except for Danny and Will, who escape to the garage. Zach tries to free himself, and a scuffle ensues between him and Danny. During the chaos, Will accidentally shoots Zach. Things get out of control, and Danny tells Will to leave Zach behind and escape quickly. Meanwhile, Mark enters the bank to search for Zach in the basement. When he finds Zach seriously injured, he shouts for an ambulance. After loading Zach into the ambulance, paramedic Cam works desperately to keep him awake and stabilize him. Elsewhere, Will and Danny are still trying to figure out a way to escape the police. As the ambulance pulls up, Danny immediately hijacks the vehicle. They attack Cam's partner, forcibly remove him from the ambulance, and take Cam hostage. When they attempt to leave the area, they discover that many police officers are blocking the exit. However, they manage to escape without raising suspicion. Back at the bank, Mark tries to leave the basement and stumbles upon Cam's injured partner. The partner informs him that the ambulance has been hijacked, and Mark quickly reports the situation to headquarters. Meanwhile, inside the ambulance, Cam notices a fire extinguisher, and while Will and Danny are distracted, she sprays them with the extinguisher and attempts to escape. In the middle of the chaos, Zach suddenly starts convulsing. Will pleads with Cam to return and help save Zach. Reluctantly, Cam agrees to go back inside and treat him. The police helicopter finally spots the stolen ambulance. Zach's condition continues to deteriorate. Cam and Danny work together to use medical equipment and try to save him, while Will focuses on driving and evading the police. The brothers then contact Poppy, a longtime friend of their father and a trusted ally. Poppy agrees to help them escape in exchange for $8 million of the stolen money. Meanwhile, Cam informs them that she is running out of blood for transfusions to keep Zach alive, and Will volunteers to donate his own blood. SWAT team leader Captain Monroe grows impatient and orders snipers to eliminate Danny and Will, believing the brothers have no intention of surrendering peacefully. As Zach's condition worsens, Cam contacts a doctor friend for help. The doctor provides instructions over the phone, guiding her through an emergency surgery. With Will assisting, Cam performs the operation, despite her lack of experience. The procedure is a success, and Zach's condition stabilizes. Unaware of Zach's situation, Captain Monroe remains determined to kill the brothers, believing Zach might still die. FBI agent Clark warns Cam about the sniper plan and advises her to take cover under the stretcher. Cam informs Danny and Will about the ambush, giving them enough time to evade the attack. Meanwhile, Poppy's men arrange several identical ambulances to create confusion among the pursuing police. Eventually, the brothers reach the location where Poppy's men are waiting for them. Danny tells Will that he can leave now because things are about to get extremely dangerous. He reminds Will that he has a family to take care of. However, Will refuses to leave, insisting that he also has a brother to take care of. The decoy ambulances spread out across different locations, and the police surround one of them, thinking it's the real one. Meanwhile, Danny and Will take advantage of the distraction to escape undetected. Danny informs Poppy's son Roberto, that they've successfully evaded the police and advises him to leave the area as well. Roberto rigs an ambulance with explosives and jumps out of it just before it reaches a cluster of police vehicles. The bomb detonates, killing many officers in the area. As Roberto flees, Officer Mark spots him and gives chase. The two engage in a brutal fight, which ends with Mark killing Roberto. When Poppy learns that his son has been killed, he is overcome with grief and rage. After some time, Will and Danny arrived at Poppy's hideout. Before stepping out, Will warns Cam to stay in the ambulance no matter what happens. Once Will leaves, Zach regains consciousness and quietly tells Cam to take the gun hidden in his shoe just in case she needs it. Inside, Danny hands over the money to Poppy and offers his condolences for the loss of his son. However, Poppy declares that the $8 million could never make up for the life of his beloved son. Since his son had been killed by the police, he vowed to kill Zach and Cam in revenge. This sparks a heated argument. Will, as a former soldier who had always protected innocent lives, couldn't stand by and let innocent people like Zach and Cam die. Despite Danny's warning to follow orders and not provoke Poppy, Will refused to comply. Enraged by Will's defiance, Poppy ordered his men to kill him. Will and Danny manage to escape. However, as Will opens the ambulance door to check on Cam, she reflexively shoots him out of fear. Seeing his brother wounded, Danny panics and drives as fast as he can to the hospital, and Cam desperately tries to stop Will's bleeding. Will hands her the stolen money and begs her to give it to his wife. When they finally reach the hospital and stop, the police surround the ambulance. As Danny moves to check on Will, he notices Zach's gun and realizes that Zach must have been the one who shot his brother.
You shot him? No.
Cam intervenes and confesses that she was the one who had fired the shot. Hearing this, Danny was overwhelmed with rage. Now cornered by the police and with no way to escape, he decides to kill Cam in front of the media. As Danny slowly opens the ambulance door and begins counting down to execute Cam, Will, despite being gravely injured, steps in to stop his brother. Will's wife appears in the distance, screaming hysterically and calling out his name. Cam asks Mark to help take Will to the hospital. At first, Mark refused, unwilling to assist a criminal. However, when Cam tells him that Will had saved Zach's life, Mark finally agrees to help. She then approaches Will's wife and slips the stolen money into her bag to ensure she has the funds needed for her surgery. In Zach's hospital room, Mark asks him to testify about what had happened. Zach, without hesitation, points to Will's photo and says, "He saved my life."